Let's solve this equation, quadratic equation, using the quadratic formula, but to do so, the first thing we need to do is get it into standard form. That's with all the terms on the left side and maybe a 0 on the right side. So let's start here by subtracting that 6y. So we'll get y squared minus 6y plus 6, and I'll write it in descending terms of the exponents, right? Y squared, y to the first, no y's at all, equals 0. And this is the standard form because I can get a, now I'll write y, ay squared plus by plus c equals 0. And that allows me, or helps me, to identify a, b, and c. So a is the coefficient of the squared term, which for us is just a 1. B, coefficient of the linear term, right? The linear term is negative 6, so we'll get a negative 6 here. And c is the constant, that's a 6. Let's substitute into the quadratic formula. I'm going to write the formula, but instead of x, I'll write y because that's our variable. And this is going to be negative b, or the opposite of b, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Let's substitute. So we will get y equals negative b, but b is negative 6, plus or minus the square root of that negative b, that negative 6 squared, b squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 6, all over twice a is a 1. A lot of arithmetic here. So y is equal to, all right here, opposite of negative 6 is 6, plus or minus, now inside, negative 6 squared. So we'll get a 36, maybe. There it is, 36. And then what do we get here? Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times 6, negative 24, all over 2. So we'll get y equals 6 plus or minus the square root. I think that's a 12 over 2. And that 12, I can break that down into two numbers, one of which I know the square root. How about 4 times 3? So let's go up here and continue it up here. So we'll get y equals 6 plus or minus 4 times 3 all over 2. Y equals 6 plus or minus square root of 4, square root of 3 over 2. Y equals 6 plus or minus, now square root of 4 is 2, square roots of 3 over 2. And both these terms in the numerator have a 2 in them. So I'm going to factor that 2 out. So take a 2 out here. So we'll get y equals 2 times. Now if I take a 2 out, 2 times what is 6? That's going to be a 3. Plus or minus. Now here there was a 2, but I'm removing it. So what's left is just that square root of 3. All over 2. How nice. Those 2's are going to cancel. And we are left with y equals 3 plus or minus square root of 3.